Welcome to a new session of health and disease. So in the previous session we have discussed regarding B lymphocytes as well as the T lymphocytes, which forms the acquired immunity, which forms the third line of body defense, which forms the last line of body defense. And in this body defense mechanism we have came across the production as well as the maturation site of the lymphocytes. So B lymphocytes, T lymphocytes, the production end is same. That means all these things or all these lymphocytes are produced in the bone marrow itself, but their maturation site is different. B lymphocytes gets matured in the B cells itself, in the bone marrow itself, while the T lymphocytes after the production from the bone marrow it gets matured. It gets matured in the thymus gland. Thymus is a small gland above the heart, where with the help of the hormones called as thymosins, by the thymosins the maturation of the T lymphocytes occurs. Okay. Now, regarding the B lymphocytes they form the antibodies, and those antibodies are very much essential for our body because they can fight against the antigens. So here antigens are nothing but they are the foreign particles which invade our body and they cause the disease. That means antigens are responsible for the disease in the humans. Antibodies are produced against the antigens. Okay, these disease causing agents. And antigens refers to any substance that comes outside the body, and for this antigen we are using alternative terms like the foreign bodies, pathogens. Okay, so any substance outside our body, if it invades inside the body, then we call them as antigens. Okay, so this is regarding the brief introduction. And with respect to the T lymphocytes, where they are responsible for a type of immunity where we call it a cell mediated immunity, CMI, also abbreviated as CMI, cell mediated immunity. It is also most important during the grafting process. Grafting is nothing but transfer of an organ from one person to another person, like that of the transplantation of the heart, transplantation of the kidney. Okay, so in this way, during organ transplantation, even the matching has to be taken place, and such type of matching, that means a CMI will be tested, cell mediated immunity will be checked, and if it is a more matching, then only the graft will be successful. Otherwise, a graft rejection is by CMI only. Okay, cell mediated immunity is responsible for graft rejection. Organ transplantation, if it has to be successful, then the tissue matching has to be done. That means most of the tissues has to match. Okay, then only the grafting process is successful, right? So here in this session we are going to study the structure of the antibody, okay, which is of most important, where the diagrammatic representation, okay, there is a cartoon diagram that is given for you. With the diagrammatic representation, its entire explanation may be asked for a 5-mark level question, okay, which is most important with respect to the health and disease. Now let us look at the structure of an antibody. So structure of antibody. Now with respect to the structure of an antibody, the antibody structure is almost same, but where do they differ? Okay, so let us look at the diagrammatic representation of the structure of an antibody, where they appear Y-shaped in structure. If we look at the structure of the antibody, they appear Y-shaped in structure. Okay, now here you can make out the structure where it appears like a letter Y. Okay. Then here we have one more structure. So here we have the same structure. Okay, now here the diagram that we are showing, this is the antigen binding site here. Okay. Okay, right. Now, how these are held together? They are held together by means of disulfide bonds, where we call them as double S bonds. So, these are held together by disulfide bonds. We call it as a S bonds. So, double S bonds. So, yes, it is a disulfide bond. Okay. Now, look at the structure here. So, they are held together by disulfide bond here. Now, here also we have the disulfide bond, S bond. Here also we are having S bond. Then here double S, here double S. Now again in this structure, again same thing is there. So double S, disulfide bond. Now we call this region as this is the constant region C, and here this is the variable region. This is called as V. The top one is called as the V. Now this is said to be heavy chain, and this is called as a light chain. Okay. Now let us look at the structure and let us go for the characters of the structure of an antibody. Okay. An antibody is having a Y shape in structure. An antibody appears to be a Y shape in structure or Y like in structure, where it is made up of 4 chains. Count the number of chains there: 1, 2, 3 and 4. It is made up of 4 chains. 2 are larger, 2 are smaller. You can make out here 2 on the other sides, on the outer side they are smaller, and here these 2 they are the larger. That is why the larger chains they are called as heavy chain. And antibody is nothing but it is a protein molecule. When we call it as a protein molecule, it is made up of an amino acid only, and when it is made up of amino acid, so it is having the N terminal here. Okay. So when it is made up of amino acid is having an amine group, so N terminal is also present. Okay. Now let us go to its characters. So let me write the characters first, and let us go to the detailed explanation of the structure of an antibody. So which is very simple based on this diagrammatic structure, where it is also said to be the cartoon of an antibody. Rest of the explanation is there. Okay. Now let us go to the first character. The first character is antibody is Y shaped in structure. An antibody is Y shaped in structure. So this is the first character. Then the later characters is an antibody molecule is made up of how many chains? 4 chains. So it is made up of 4 chains, 2 heavy and 2 light chains, where these are abbreviated as H2 and L2. These are abbreviated as H2 and L2. H2, 2 heavy chains, L2, 2 light chains. Okay, hence the name H2 and L2. Okay. Now, all the chains How many chains are there? 4. What are those? 2 heavy, 2 light. They are not apart, they are held together by means of which bond? So all the chains means all the 4 chains are held together by disulfide bonds. Okay, where we call them as double S bonds. All the 4 chains, look at the structure here, double S, here also double S, here also double S. All the 4 chains are held together by means of disulfide bonds. Okay, then each chain has a constant region C and a variable region V. Now here to here, so where I have marked, this region is said to be constant. A constant means it is a fixed region where the total number of amino acid sequence are same in all the antibodies. From here to here it is constant. So here to here it is constant region. Okay, so here we can call it a C, here we can call it a C, here to here it is constant. Okay, that's why each chain consists of a constant region which is mainly named by the letter C and a variable region called as V. Why we call it as variable? Because the antibodies will change only at this region. This might be medium size, this might be long, this might be very short. The size of the variable region will change. The number of amino acids in the variable region will be different with respect to different antigens, because it's an antibody which attacks the antigens and the variable region will change. Okay, so that's why each chain have a constant region C and a variable region V. Okay, now we call this region as antigen binding site. We call this region as antigen binding site, because antigen gets binded at these sites. So we are taking that point in our next character. So antibody has antigen binding site. Okay, so antigen gets binded here. Then next character, these antibodies, they are also called as immunoglobulins. So they are also called immunoglobulins. They are also called immunoglobulins, which is abbreviated by a letter Ig. Ig refers to immunoglobulin, our immune, that means our antibody. So these antibodies are also called as immunoglobulins, Ig. And there are different types of immunoglobulins. So let us go to the different types of immunoglobulins. So types of immunoglobulins are IgA, IgD, IgE, IgG, IgM. So these are the different types of immunoglobulins. Okay, so IgA, IgD, IgE, IgG, IgM are different types of immunoglobulins where the variable region goes on changing. And as I told you, the antibodies are very specific. When they are very specific, then ultimately they have to identify a particular type of pathogen. When they identify a particular type of pathogen, that particular type of pathogen or the antigen comes and binds here. That's why this antibody makes the antigen non-localized. That means it does not allow the antigens to move and infect our cells, and later on it kills them. Okay. So, this is regarding the structure of an antibody. Okay. So, let me tell you in a quick round regarding the explanation of the structure of an antibody. If we look at the structure of an antibody is a Y-shaped structure having 4 chains, 2 light, 2 heavy chains, where it is represented as H2 and L2. All the 4 chains are held together by means of disulfide bonds, disulfide bond, disulfide bonds. Okay, I am just repeating it, you do not write disulfide bond 3 times. All the 4 chains are held together by means of disulfide bonds. Each chain is having a constant region C, a constant region C, a constant region C, a constant region C, and a variable region V, a variable region V, variable region V, and a variable region V. Followed? Okay. This variable region, it changes from one antibody to another antibody, because antibodies are specific. Antibodies are specific. If this variable region, if it is small, if it can identify a bacteria, then it cannot identify a virus. For the virus, there will be another antibody which will be having different variable length. Okay. That means antibodies are specific against antigens. A single antibody cannot identify. Suppose if there is an antibody that can identify a bacteria, then it cannot identify a virus. To identify a virus, there is one more antibody that is produced in our body, so that it can attack such type of particular antigens. Okay. Then apart from this, the antibody is having an antigen binding site. So, here antigen gets binded. Okay. Then these antibodies, they are also said to be immunoglobulins, and there are 5 different types of immunoglobulins. 4 are given in your NCERT, 1 is additional which I gave you. Which is that additional? You just find it out after reading your NCERT. Okay. So, those are IgA, IgD, IgE, IgG and IgM, which are responsible for our immune system, out of which the largest immunoglobulin is IgM. Okay. In terms of its size, it is largest. Okay. And IgA, IgE you are going to study here. So, these all immunoglobulins are involved in our body defense mechanism. These are nothing but they are the antibodies that protects us from harmful pathogens. Okay. So, this completes the structure of an antibody. Okay, a Y-shaped structure, where we also call it as the cartoon structure. So, with these in the next part we have all definitions. So, let us look at 2 definitions right now in this class. The further definitions that we are going to study is active immunity, passive immunity, vaccination, immunization, allergy, autoimmunity, then immune system in our body. Okay, so with that, so half of the chapter is completed. Okay, then next half, second half, part 2 will remain. Okay, so almost we are at the middle part of the chapter now. Okay, then let us look at the definition of the immunities. Heading is active and passive immunity. Okay, let us study them separately and we will look at the difference. What is active immunity and what is passive immunity? So, we have all these different types of immunity in our body and we require all these different types of immunities. We have certain passive immunity also, we have certain active immunity also, and this is regarding the type of immunity that is obtained after the birth only. Now, let us look at the definition of active immunity. Active immunity is nothing but production of antibodies after the entry of antigens into our body. That means when an antigen enters into the body, antibodies are produced against these antigens. Such type of immunity is said to be active immunity. That means active immunity is self generated when an antigen enters into our body, because our body defense mechanism is working along with the external antibodies what we are taking in the form of vaccination. In the vaccination we are not taking the antibodies, actually we are taking antigens by which we are going to produce the antibodies in our body, but sometimes we take antibodies directly only. Okay, so what is that? We will see it. Now active immunity is that type of immunity where our body will generate antibodies naturally, when after the entry of antigens. Remember, our body does not unnecessarily produce antibodies. Our body will produce antibodies only when an antigen enters. Till that there is no production. Understood? Okay. So active immunity is such type of immunity where the antibodies are produced. So the production of antibodies when an antigen enters into the body is said to be active immunity. You can define it in different ways also. Okay. So the production of the antibodies when an antigen enters into our body is said to be active immunity, or when an antigen enters into our body, antibodies are produced against this. Such type of immunity is said to be active immunity. Okay. So you can frame the statements. Okay. So of your interest, but the thing is, antibodies are produced only after the antigen enters into the human body. Okay. Such type of immunity is said to be active immunity. Let us go to the passive immunity. Now when we say passive immunity, in the passive immunity, if ready-made antibodies enters into the body by which it is going to increase our immunity, such type of immune system is said to be passive immunity. So what is passive immunity? When ready-made antigens, it is ready-made antibodies enters into the body such type of immunity is called passive immunity. And for this we are having an example. The example for this is colostrum. And regarding the colostrum, already you have studied in the 3rd chapter. Colostrum is the first milk produced by the mother after parturition, after delivering the baby. What does the colostrum consist of? Now this colostrum, it consists of IgA. It consists of an immunoglobulin IgA, which you might be knowing it also. Okay. Colostrum is the first milk produced by the mother by which the baby will be feeding on the mother's milk. That's why what we say is, after the birth of the baby has to feed only on the mother's milk, not with any of the external fluids. This is because the baby is going to get its immunity only through the mother's milk. Okay, that means the mother's milk colostrum is having immunoglobulin A, IgA, which is responsible to get the immunity in the baby. So, babies will get the immunity by the antibodies that enters into their body directly from the mother's milk. Such type of immunity is said to be passive immunity. So, this is the basic difference between active and passive immunity. Active antibodies are produced naturally after the entry of the antigens. Passive ready-made antibodies will enter into the body. Understood? So, this is regarding the definition of the passive and active immunity, which will be asked for an objective question. So, with this next few more definitions we are having, where we call them as vaccination, immunization, allergy, autoimmunity, and the immune system, lymphoids organs in our body. So, those we will study in our coming session. Okay, so till then watch our videos regularly, make the notes, write the assignments, and make the best use of the time. Thank you.